Caution! If you don't like speculation, you may want to look away now, because we're going to have some fun with a set of mysterious Cunard bathroom photographs that appeared and then disappeared on Facebook. They're rumoured to show a mock-up of Queen Mary II's new Britannia bathrooms following her major 2027 refit. But do they? Let's take a closer look and see what we can work out. There are three main photos. First, we'll examine exactly what they show and what Cunard may have designed. Then, towards the end of the video, we'll look at the clues, the contradictions, and the evidence for and against these being a genuine preview of Britannia class. So, let's jump straight into the first photo. If this is the bathroom Cunard have in mind for 2027, then, in the words of Bruce Forsyth, didn't they do well? Just look at that striking Art Deco design with its black and cream colour palette, and those lamps are to die for. Naturally, the shower curtain has gone, would expect that, and of course there is no longer a bottle opener or ashtray. On that subject, I've heard that Cunard have already started removing the ashtrays, so perhaps they watched my last video about the refit. I'll link to that at the end in case you haven't seen it. Scanning this first image, the Art Deco influence is unmistakable. It isn't confined to the accessories, like those fabulous wall lamps. It carries right through into the cabinetry, the mirror, and the bold floor design. The whole thing feels sophisticated without becoming dark or oppressive. It still looks bright and, importantly, functional. There isn't a huge amount of space, but that's hardly surprising on a ship, and Cunard appear to have used what space there is very effectively. For me, the styling has a touch of the Wolsey restaurant in London about it. I do notice that the loo encroaches slightly on the standing space in front of the basin, but something has to give in a bathroom of this size. The recessed tissue holder appears to have been retained, which is a nice touch, and I imagine there's a hidden bin inside the vanity unit. The countertop looks like marble, or at least a marble effect, although it's difficult to tell from the photographs. And there's a shaving socket, as you'd expect. The mirror is interesting too. I like the way it stands slightly proud of the wall behind it. It doesn't have the impressive illuminated rectangular surround you see on Queen Anne, although with those wall lamps it arguably doesn't need one. In the reflection, we can also see hooks on the back of the bathroom door, which is fairly typical on Cunard, and the door itself has a rather tasteful dark wood finish. Okay, let's move on to photo 2, where we get a much clearer view of the loo area, and in particular that rather striking floor. There's a grab rail beside the loo, and we can see much more of the black and cream pattern, finished with a bold classic border. It looks like tile, although from the photo alone it's impossible to tell whether it's actually tiled or a very convincing vinyl finish. And there's the loo roll. Fun fact, Cunard uses special maritime toilet paper designed to break down more readily in the ship's vacuum plumbing and waste processing systems. That's also why they're rather particular about guests not using their own paper. So, although Queen Mary II has room in her kennels for the Andrex puppy, she does not necessarily have room in her plumbing for the Andrex. Finally, let's look at photo 3, which gives us our best view of the shower. There appears to be a raised divider between the shower tray and the rest of the bathroom floor, so it's not a wet room. The shower itself is mounted on a hose and bracket rather than coming directly from the ceiling as a rainfall shower, and some people may actually prefer that, particularly if they want to shower without washing their hair. I can also see 2 corner storage racks, which is a practical touch and provides enough room for the usual bottles and toiletries. So that's our first look at what may be the new Britannia bathroom design, following Queen Mary II's major refit next April. Personally, I think it would be a huge improvement on the existing, rather dated, Bakelite cream bathrooms. But never mind what I think. What do you make of it? In a moment, we'll take a look at the evidence for and against these photographs being a genuine glimpse of what Cunard may have planned for Britannia and Britannia Club. But first, Curious to Travel is all about deep dive Cunard analysis, immersive journeys, and practical cruising advice. So if that sounds like your kind of channel, please do consider subscribing. So let's explore whether these photographs really could be a leak of Cunard's plans. I first came across them in a cruise critic thread, so my thanks to the user GoldenHind2 for posting them. Apparently, the original Facebook post claimed they showed a mock-up of the new bathrooms, but then the post mysteriously disappeared. Another cruise critic member, Bellboy, suggested a different possibility, that this may already be an existing bathroom installed on one of a handful of Deck 8 cabins reportedly rebuilt during Queen Mary II's 2023 refit. Now, I've searched high and low, I've reverse image searched and ploughed through dozens of cabin tours, but I cannot find a single bathroom on Queen Mary II that matches this one, and that includes her new Deck 13 Britannia Club cabins. That does not mean it isn't there, it simply means that if it is, I can't find it anywhere on the public internet. I've also checked the bathrooms on Queen Anne, and I've sailed on her myself in Britannia, Princess Grill and Queen's Grill. None of these bathrooms matches this design. So where on earth were these photographs taken? Let's return to the pictures, because they contain several intriguing and rather contradictory clues. Firstly, reflected in the mirror, we can see clothes hanging in a wardrobe directly opposite the bathroom. That arrangement strongly suggests a Britannia or Britannia Club cabin, and the clothes make it appear that the cabin may actually be occupied. Secondly, we can see the reflection of the person taking the photographs. They are using a smartphone, which instantly rules out a polished Cunard publicity shoot. Thirdly, there are Penhaligon's toiletries and, more importantly, a Cunard Penhaligon's card explaining that the larger bottles are not for guests to take home. So this is unmistakably a Cunard setting. But then comes the contradiction. There's no shampoo, conditioner or body wash in the shower. And in an occupied Cunard cabin, those would be there. So we're left with more questions than answers. So what can we say with reasonable confidence? It is a Cunard bathroom. The wardrobe layout suggests that it belongs to Britannia or a Britannia Club cabin, and it could conceivably be one of those mysterious rebuilt cabins on Queen Mary II's Deck 8. But even if that is true, it still does not prove that Cunard intends to install this bathroom more widely across Britannia class during the 2027 refit. It might be a trial, a one-off replacement, or something else entirely. And this is where you may be able to help. If you recognise this bathroom, know where these photographs were taken, or have any reliable information that they really do foreshadow Cunard's plans for the refit, please let us all know in the comments. So, a lot of speculation today, but rather enjoyable at that. As Einstein said, the most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. And there certainly is plenty of mystery surrounding what Cunard has planned for Queen Mary II next April. For anyone who hasn't heard, she is due to undergo a major remastering lasting around 5 weeks. I heard a rumour, and it's just a rumour, that the work's going to take place at the Navantia shipyard in Cadiz, Spain. A previous major remastering was carried out at the Blom & Voss shipyard in Hamburg. Her new deck plans already reveal significant changes, including an expanded Deck 13 and a new sun deck on Deck 14. To see my full breakdown about these changes, click here. Otherwise, YouTube thinks you may enjoy this video. Stay in touch because I'll be sharing more news as it emerges. Thank you very much for watching. I'm David from Curious to Travel. Stay curious.